Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead, and this is another segment of our series on making your own emergency lighting. Today we're going to make what I've heard called as a hobo lantern. All right, and let's get started. First off, I had some broken candles, so I'm just going to set them in a pot with a wire rack on the bottom and turn that on to boil. And we're going to melt that wax. Don't worry about the wicks. You can take them out afterwards, all right, and save them for another project. Now what you're going to need is corrugated cardboard. And corrugated cardboard just means it has these little weavy things in and out. It's two pieces of paper separated by a woven piece of cardboard. And old canning flats really work well for this project. We're just going to take this box apart and we're going to cut these sides off. And you're going to need an old tuna can or a small can, a short can. Now these candles are really awesome to have in your emergency kit in your car because they burn for a long time, they have a larger flame, and they do give off quite a bit of heat. Now if you want them for heat, I would recommend keeping this along with a large coffee can inside your car. If you put a candle inside a coffee can in your car, if you're stuck in the winter and you're there for a long time, then the heat will radiate out of the can. It will heat the outside of the can and will actually give off more heat than the candle itself. Now what we want this cardboard to be only the depth of the can. And one of the things about using the sides of these boxes is the cardboard has lines on it, and you can just mark it and cut right down the original line. Now what we're going to do is we're going to roll this up. Leave our little tail there and continue to roll. Now you don't want this to fit too tight in the can. You want it to kind of unroll a little bit, but you don't want it too loose either. And it is important that the edges of your cardboard are cut so that they will ignite better. Here we go. Took off that last little bit, and we're going to bang it level, and we're going to pop it inside the can. And if you notice, there's barely a ½ an inch around it, and we're just going to let it go. We're going to take our little screwdriver or ice pick or whatever it is you want, and you're going to go in and you're going to actually loosen this up a little bit. You want some room in between your layers of cardboard. Alrighty, we have enough wax melted in our jar. And this is a good thing. Keep all your candle stubs and keep them in a jar. And before this starts to cool down, we are just going to fill this can now, liberally coating the cardboard with the wax. Now you can wait for this to cool down, but it's all ready to go. It will actually light better when it's solidified. And once this gets going, it makes a great big light. Another awesome use for your survival candle, hobo candle, whatever you want to call it, is if you keep this in your car for heat and light, you can also keep it in your car for cooking. If you're stranded in your car, snowbound, if you should always have a kit with blankets and flares and water and some dehydrated soup, and a cup is a good idea. because this is what you can do. If you have an old coffee can, an empty coffee can, and a wire rack in your kit, and this, you can make soup. But for all intents and purposes, I'm going to use this old pot just for the sake of argument. And I'm going to put my survival candle in there. And I'm going to show you how easy this becomes. Not only a source of heat, because the heat will radiate out of there, but also a source to cook with. Now all you have to do is to light your candle. You can just lay the match right on top, and I'm going to take the candle off here. Once it's going, if you want to burn more area of your candle, if you want a bigger flame, you just put it, get it going, and then rotate it. You pop it down into your can, and this is a must, because if you put anything solid over this, it's like a pot or something, it's just going to go out. But if you have a wire rack, you can effectively use this as a cooking surface to boil water, to make soup, and this will burn for hours. All right? This is the Mrs. Wolfe from our half-acre homestead saying, sometimes the simplest ideas are the best ideas. Take care.